Hello everyone, welcome back. This is leg day 2 of our pre-season 1. So if you're joining me again after leg day 1, well done and thank you very much. Because I've gone through all the basics and fundamentals of how your body's supposed to move, I won't spend as much time discussing those sorts of things in this video. So although we're going to do the same sort of set, it's not going to take nearly as long. We're doing 3 main sets, each set divided into 2 exercises. Each of those exercises we'll do 3 times, 8 to 12 times each. For the purposes of this video, I'll be doing them 12 times. For you guys, if you're just starting out, come off an off-season or a pre-season or lockdown, start slow, listen to your body. Over the course of a month, build up to 12 reps. But yeah, feel free to tap out, take a rest when you need to. But yeah, let's begin with our first set or warm-up. What we're going to do is side shuffles, slow, low shuffles. If you have the space, do them in a row and then come back. If not, that's okay. And then we're going to work on hip flexor activation. But yeah, as I said, 12 sets each and let's go. Like always, pressure through your heels or your weight through your heels. Sink your bum back, keep your chin up. I'm going to go there and back and that'll be 1 each leg. Again, if you can do in a straight line, you have the space and you're not being recorded. 12 that way, 12 back, or 8, or 10, or 9, or 11. Okay, so I'm going to start. Bum back, weight through heels. 1, 2, 3, 4. The purpose here is to keep your hips level the whole time. We're working on hip stability and working all those funny muscles in there. I'm on 12, so turn around and come back. You don't want to be going up and over. It's not a squat, it's a slow, low shuffle. 16. 24, or second set of 12. So yeah, not too challenging. Again, we are just warming up. Like I said, the goal is to keep your hips low, back straight, and just it's nice stability for the hips and all those funny muscles in there. And every time we pushing off this ankle over here, we're activating all the stability over here, not to rotate in, not to rotate out. So just staying on the same line, and then as we come across to this side as well, just staying nice and stable. Second thing we're going to do in this set is hip flexor flexors. Nothing too complicated. All we want to do is lift up our leg, hold it for 3 seconds, and put it down. This is how you activate when you're running. So yeah, and we just learning to flex that part of our muscle, gives it some more endurance, strengthens it, learns to activate. So when you run, that's what we're using, and we can run better. Okay, so we're going to go 8 to 12 each leg, 3 seconds each. Yeah. Down, rest for 3 seconds. 2. Down, rest for 3 seconds. 3. Down, rest for 3 seconds. 4. Down, rest for 3 seconds. 5. And you're really flexing, trying to get it as high as you can. Down, rest for 3 seconds. And your stable foot is practicing everything we did last week. 7. 10. 11. 12. Swap legs. You'll notice what I'm doing with my arms, that's to train myself now to think about when I run, opposite arm, opposite leg, just getting into that movement. We'll talk a lot about the biomechanics of how your arms and your legs work together when you run. 2. So training that from now is a great idea. 5. Bringing it up, flexing. Also making sure your stability leg is stable, knee slightly bent if you need it to be. The focus though is on this hip flexor over here. 8. Hold for 3. Rest for 3. 10. 11. 12. Okay. Always good to give it a bit of a shakeout. Yeah, we're not going to rest too much between these sets. One, because I do a lot of talking, and if you don't stop when I stop to talk, you'll have done the set a lot sooner. And two, because it is essentially a warm-up set. We're not doing anything too difficult just yet. So the focus is on using your muscles properly, but we're not stressing just yet. For those slow low shuffles, if you have one of these and you can take it, I seriously recommend using them. Just like the side lunges we did last week or last session, hopefully they're not a week apart. Putting them just over your knees, everything else is exactly the same. You're focusing on your stability foot to keep you stable, not rotating in and out, flexing your outer quads as much as you can, and everything's activated through your glutes. 24, 2 sets of 12 each leg, and we are going. Eight, 9, stay in the level. 10, 12, turn around and come back. 8, 9, 10, 12. For me, as much as these things give a nice amount of resistance, what they really help with is just, you always have to keep tension on your outer quads, and this really helps to do that. It just helps you remember to do exactly that. So yeah, if you have a long one, tie it in half, fold it over a few times, wrap it on. But if you don't, that's not a problem. You just have to focus extra hard on activating the correct muscles and keeping the tension in your quads. So when you come across, this doesn't stay loose, it's activated the whole time. Quads and glutes, yeah. Back to hip flexor flexors. 12, 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off. Yeah, try not to cramp up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really easy just to bring your knee up. 7. But what you really want to do is focus on flexing that muscle that activates as you bring your leg up as high as you can. As always, the leg on the ground is not resting, your ankle's working to keep you stable. And 12. Next leg. 4. 8. 12. It's important to remember when you're doing this, you don't want to lean over. You're trying to keep your hips square even though your knee is coming up. So you don't want to lean over, you don't want to twist or rotate. Hips square, facing the wall or your partner or a mirror or whatever you're doing this in front of. Hips nice and square, legs nice and stable, and you're really focusing on this flex over here without rotating, without leaning over. And yeah, it'll help you activate your core to do that as well. But yeah, final set of this introduction or warm-up set. Yeah, 734, focusing on activating your glutes, keeping the tension in your quads, keeping your hips level and your head up. I'm going to drive home these points because it's really important to keep your form as you go through these exercises and set the precedent for your body going into a season or a new sport or anything that could damage your muscles. Hips, shoulder width apart, a bit wider, glutes down, head up, and let's go. 6. It really helps to do this on a line. That way, I'll tell you now, that's 12, turn around and come back. It helps if you do this on a line, so you're not stepping out with the wrong foot or stepping out, your hips aren't rotating. You can focus on that line at the top of your yoga mat, whatever. Focus on that line and keep going, keeping your hips nice and square. And obviously, when that becomes easier to look up. I started the second set. We're on 4, 5, 6. Keep going. Starting to hurt. Keep that tension in your quads. Sink lower. I know you have a tendency to rise and make this easy. Stay nice and low. Keep your hips pushed out, knees pushed out. That's 8. Nice and slow. 1 rep at a time. 10. And finished. Okay, last set of hip flexor activation, and then we can move on. Not that this hasn't been fun, but we do have the rest of the workout to do. Good luck. Hold for 3, down for 3, 2, 3, 4, just like running. As my right knee comes up, my left hand is forward. Really focus on flexing that muscle. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You might notice now that because we are into the set, your stability legs feeling a bit shaky, you can feel your glutes activating. That's good. Don't give in, don't stand up straight. You really want to be using those muscles. Even though the focus is on here, this should be second nature, muscle memory by now, but it needs to be done right. So keep a focus on that as we go through these exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 2. Are you still with me? 12. Again. All done. Let's keep going. The second set, we're going to do half step downs. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. We do need equipment for this exercise. I'm sorry about that. But good thing is the equipment is just a step. Not a small one that you can do half a squat and your leg still off, and your non-active leg is still off the floor. And then we're going to do reverse side lunges. That'll do really well to keep our work on hip stability, work on knee rotation, protecting your ACL and all those important things, so you don't have to go for operations. But yeah, step down. Remember last week when you're doing split squats, and I spoke about how we're doing half the exercise now and we'll do the other half later because it's all momentum. Well, yeah, that's where we're at. So we have our step, and we're going to stand up, and my head will probably get cut out, but that's fine. You're going to stand up, and you set yourself. Your right leg is not going to be, or the leg not supporting itself, not going to be active. It's going to be there for balance. You're going to sink down to about half a squat, as deep as you can go with proper form. Bum back, pressure through your heel, down and up. And that's going to work specifically on the last 40-30% of a squat movement. And yeah, it works these muscles back here. You won't feel it, but I mean, so, and yeah, when we're doing squats, when we're doing normal exercises, we come up and that last 30-40% is all momentum, and we're not really focusing on the muscles down here. We've stopped our movements over here, and from here up here is all this part of the quad, and we neglect a lot of this. So we focused specifically last week on split squats, focusing on this muscle over here, and this exercise now is going to focus on this part of the muscle over here. You'll feel it, it'll be sore, it might be a bit funny, but yeah, you know how to be stable. We've spoken about stability through the ankles, so that's what you're going to focus on your resting, on your active leg, and you're going to sink down and come up, but yeah, so take it slow, don't go too deep if you can't come up, but yeah, you'll see what I mean after a few reps about the muscles it works. But yeah, find something nice and stable, pushing through your heel, standing up, still stable, that's great, and down as much as you can go, and up. Nice and slow down, and up. Nice focus on hips, staying square. 3, 4, we're working on this ankle stability as well. 5, all the squat theory we learned last week. 6, still applies. Sinking your bum back, keeping your head up, back straight, and bent over. 8, 9, as much as we're working the lower part of our quad here. 10, you really are still using a lot of your glute. It is the driving force behind this movement. 11, 12. Okay, switch over, next leg. Like I said last week, you really want to start with your weaker leg, so if you come to a point of failure, you don't overdo it with your stronger leg. So yeah, I think the left leg is my weaker one, definitely used to be, but I always start with that one. Up on right, getting stable. Please use a stable chair. We don't need broken wrist injuries before season. And start. 1, 2, sinking bum, working through the heel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, staying stable to finish it off. Last 2, 11, remember, nice and slow down, activate through the glute to get you back up. 12, nice. Move that out of the way. Reverse side lunge, so we did these kind of side lunges last week, and that was a nice lateral movement. What we're going to work on now is rotating about, the x-axis on your knee. So you're going to squat down into this position and then swing your non-active leg around, do a lunge and come up. All of the work has been done on your active leg. The leg that swings around is only there for balance. Yeah, the goal, if you're standing on a mat like this, or if you put cones out to the side, is to touch and come back up. Nice and slow, controlled down, controlled up. You'll feel a nice pulling in your glute, and you'll feel a nice pulling in your quad as you come up. All of our squat theory is the same. Sink through your glutes, come down, head forward, and push in through your glute to come up. Okay, 8 to 12, take it nice and slow. Yeah, don't want to get injured, and you won't if you keep it nice and slow. Okay, setting, especially on active leg, for me that's left, weak leg to start. Okay, foot up, nice and stable, rotate out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hips coming square at the top. 6, 7, 8, last one, 12. You'll see or feel, hopefully feel, you should be looking up. As you come down and go around, you're twisting a lot, putting a lot of pressure on your knee, and your quads are stable throughout that process and stable bringing you back. That rotation is really going to help rotation stability, especially when you jam in hard to change direction. You cut in, rotating your legs and running, your quads are going to, your knees are going to rotate a lot, your quads are going to need to hold them in place, and this is a great way to do that. Nice injury prevention, but also nice to work the extremities of your muscles. As you go down and go out there, you're stretching and you're working in that stretch to come back, and that's a great way to build your strength. Okay, talking over, standing in the middle, I'm back, cool. Should be easier because my right leg is more stable, more balanced. Cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stay stable, 10, 11, 12. Okay, if you think about this, we're not doing just the rotation, we're doing a vertical up-down movement as well, just like a regular squat. You're going down to a certain level and you're coming up to the top. When you do these, you're going down as you go out and coming up to the top. Again, so it's not just a horizontal plane shifting movement, we have a vertical rise and fall as well. Gives your legs a nice shake, smack them out a bit if you need to, get your step or get to your step, and we're going to continue. Yeah, just like a regular squat, just like what you did with SLDLs last week, working on stability, middle of your knee, over your second toe, and that is what's going to help you stay stable in here. That's what's going to help you work on your muscle alignment, so you're all nice and straight, even as you're sinking below what you normally would. Yeah, pushing down through your glute, head up to come up at the top. Yeah, good luck. I'm going to do this one a little bit side on, so if you missed anything prior, you can see it now. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm kidding, I can't show you. Okay, up, nice and stable, toe in line with the knee, bum back, and down for 1. Pushing up with your glutes, quad to finish it off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you go down and you're shaky coming up, 8, and you're using the wrong muscles in a squat, you're going down too low. 10, you really can just 11, 12. You don't have to come all the way down to here. We're not doing full step ups, we're not doing that full range of movement just yet. We're starting at the top, we're going down, focusing a lot on the eccentric movement. So if your eccentric movement is taking you to a place where you can't get back up naturally, then you're going too low, and that's okay. As I said before, the focus is on this part of the quad over here, so you don't need to sink too low. Even if you're going like, yeah, as long as this part of the quad's activated and your glutes doing its work and your legs stable, you're doing the process, you're doing it well. Yeah, the deeper you go, the more momentum you have coming up, the less this part of the quad is working. So just bear that in mind if you're trying to push yourself, or if this is feeling too easy. We're activating this bottom part of the quad over here. That's the focus. Yeah, standing up, nice and stable, and let's go. 1. Don't worry, we'll get to full step ups in later weeks or months. I'm on 3, 4, and those will be fun if you're ready. 6, 7, 8, really pushing through the heel over here, coming up through the glute, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nice. Halfway done with the set. Find the middle of your mat. No rest for the wicked. Align your knee. Even though you're going to do a lot of rotating over here, you want to start with your knee in line, you want to finish with your knee in line. Cool. Finding that stability, left leg up, not rotating where I shouldn't be. Excellent. Leg back, down and up. Rotate down and up 2. Rotate down and up. Stretch out, try to be stable the whole way. 4. If you have cones, try to kick your cone. Don't put your foot on the floor if you need to make it more difficult. 6. Even though we're rotating and leaning forward, all your weight is through your back heel. I think that's 8. 9. 10. Take it slow. 11. 12. Yeah, just as I was there focusing on pushing through my heel, I could really feel the difference between when I was doing that and when I was not, and how it just really does activate your glutes and help you focus on activating your quads. So again, I'll say it, push through your heel, sink your quad back, feel the burn the feeling. Let's go. 2, 3, down and up. 4, 5, 6, 7, pushing through the heel to come up, 8, 9, focusing on that heel, 10, 11, 12. The funny positions and stuff and the pressures we exert on our body in this sort of movement is really going to help. If you think about a nice low release forehand, you are sticking that knee out, you are putting a lot of pressure on this heel over here, and you do want to be stable in your whole movement. If you fall over, they can call it travel. Worse, you could get injured. So yeah, being stable when your body's doing things it doesn't naturally do is a great way to just thrive on the frisbee field, and we are training that specific movement here. Not that specific movement, well, same movement, but we won't do it just there. Every time you're not running in a straight line, you need that knee rotation, you need that ankle stability, you need the hip stability. Hip stability is what we're going to do in the next set. Finish off to focus nicely on that sort of activation and working your core muscles around there. Enough talk. I'm stalling for myself over here. Okay, I'll keep the side on view for this one. Leg up, pushing through your heel. Getting stable. Knees aligned, glute activated. Down and up. 2, 3. Leaning forward, glute back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pushing through the heel. 11, 12. If you've made it this far without a step, what I'm going to say is very redundant. But if by some chance you don't have a step or a chair or a low coffee table that can support your weight, you can do the same thing by just sticking your non-active leg out. Obviously this is going to put a lot of pressure on, well, not a lot of pressure, but you're going to be activating your hip over here, and you're not going to be focused as much on your stability leg. So really try to find a step. If you can't, you can do the same exercise, just going down and coming up. Not a full pistol squat, just the start of it. We want to focus on this area over here. If we go too deep, we neglect that. Okay. Step up, your stable space. Down and up. Don't let your hips sink in. Really work it through your glutes. Eight. Sorry about the silence there. I was focusing too much. 10. 11. 12. And we're almost done with this. Put that to the side again or move away from it. Reverse side lunges. Just like last time. Set yourself first before you start moving. Get your active muscles activated, the ones that need to be. And pushing through your heel the whole way up and the whole way down. That's where your weight is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wish I could stop here. 9, 10, and for those of you on week 3 and 4 of this, 11, 12. I don't have any more to say. I think I said it all 3 or 4 times, so we're going to jump straight into the right leg. 1, through the heel. 3, 4. If you're feeling anything funny activating, 5, 6. Maybe your groin, maybe too much of your hamstring. Your legs are probably tired. Especially now, we almost finished with the set. 7, and yeah, our legs are tired, especially if we're just starting. So either stop, but first try really focus, 8 or 9. Try really focus on your activated muscles. Try really focus on getting your form right and working them even though they're tired. 9, when you're in doubt, round down. 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so if you feel on that rotation up that you're working too much of your groin, or on the way down or up, you're working too much of your hamstring, it's getting uncomfortable, focus, refocus on your form, glutes back, pressure through the heels, all of that nice rotating stuff. Yeah, if you're still finding yourself struggling, that's okay. Your muscles are tired, and you're going to start to compensate using other muscles. If we keep doing that, we're going to rely too much on those other muscles. In a high pressure situation where we change in direction really fast, we're going to use our groin that's not stabilizing our knee. We're going to use our hamstring that's not in order to push us off, and it should be our glute. That's when injuries happen. So now here, pre-season 1, yeah, running, change direction, those are months away. So if you feel yourself using other muscles, you feel yourself not activating, go back to the basics. Really focus on activating the right muscles in order. If that doesn't work, then stop where you are. That's why we start with our left leg. If I can only do 7 before my hamstring starts to give out, then I'm going to do 7 on my right leg as well. That's okay. We're just getting started here, guys. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. But yeah, that being said, if your body can take it, it's only going to be to your benefit if you push hard. Okay, last set, we're going to do assisted skater squats. What? I'll explain that. And hip dips. Nice and easy hip stabilization things. Yeah. Okay, so if you have something with no friction, like a paper plate or a towel to put under your non-active foot, that'll be great. I don't have that, so I'm going to use socks. But basically, what we're building towards with our SLDLs and our assisted skater squats is to do a full skater squat. Skater squat being like a pistol squat, but your legs backwards, all the way down, all the way up. We're not going to do that yet because we really need to have nice stable ankles, nice strong knees, and good form on the way down and the way up. So, to get our minds ready there, to get us thinking about it, to get our body used to that sort of movement, we're going to do assisted skater squats. It's exactly the same movement, except we have our non-active leg on the ground, stabilizing us down and helping us come back up. Obviously, as much as you can, to the best of your ability, all of your weight goes into your active leg. But if it doesn't, that's okay. The leg that shoots out here is keeping you stable as you come up. You are not pushing off this hip flexor to bring yourself up. That is not the purpose of what we're doing today. The focus here is pretty much a one-legged squat on your active leg. And yeah, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll sink our bums back, got our way through our heels, no problem, except we'll do it on one leg. But you're too unstable at the moment, so this leg here is going to stabilize us. Okay, going a bit more on screen. Yeah, 3 sets, 8 by 12. We'll superset this with nice dips. You'll need to go back to a step for that, not a problem. But yeah, just like every leg exercises you've ever done with me, activate your glutes, push way through your heel, arms alternating legs, just like if you're running. Sink down, no pressure on this back leg. Everything, all the tension in your quad here and your glute here, come up, head forward, come up, down, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up, 5 up. If you do feel yourself working too much on your right leg, then don't put your whole foot on the ground, balance on one toe. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You might find yourself after that first set, the weight down, you're putting all your weight on your back leg, and that's the thing that's lowering you down. Try your best not to do that. The focus here is to get our eccentrics nice and low on our active leg, and yeah, nice and controlled, low all the way down, and then using our glutes and our quad to bring ourselves up. Yeah, otherwise, it's exactly the same as what we've been doing the whole time. Just focus all of your weight on your non-active or on your active heel. Down, head forward, activate the glute to come up. 3, 4, don't forget to move your arms. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Also, what you want to focus on not doing is not rotating as you come down. If you jump straight into full-on skater squats, what you'll find as you come down is you'll rotate one way or the other, and with our leg on the floor acting as a pilot or guide in some regard, you end up not doing that. So if you only have one sock on, or you have a line on your mat, or however you decide to do this, put your foot on that line and focus on that line. If you have plank, board, floor, things like me, with both feet on the line, and your right foot or your non-active foot travels down that line, and your left foot stays on line with this one, and you come up. Keeping your hips nice and square, not rotating out. This leg's not going out the whole time. Okay. Final exercise, hip dips. Exactly what you think. We're going to step up, we're going to lower our hips, so we have our active leg, nice stable ankle, activated quad, activated glute, and we're going to drop our right hip down and bring it up. Sounds a bit funny. Is this really working anything? What you want to do is activate your core like we practiced last week in core 1. Activating your core and just working on that hip stability. That's going to be all around here. And yeah, in a dynamic sport like ultimate, it's imperative that this area where your hips are moving in every which direction is nice and strong and stable. So even though this is a very lateral movement, it's still going to be to our benefit. Activating this nicely, dropping your hip down and pulling it up. This is going to be useless if you aren't activating your muscles. So tense your core, tense your glutes, drop your hip, bring it up. Okay. 1, 2. It's a very small movement. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want to visualize it, you're not going down and coming up to horizontal, you're going down and coming up as high as you can. So if you're standing on a flat floor, the muscles you're using are as if you were lifting your hips in such a way that your non-active foot comes off the floor by what? Maybe an inch, 3 or 4 centimeters, if that. So you're just working on, the first time we're not keeping our hips square and level, you shifting them like this, using your core up, down, nice hold over there. Yeah, so we're doing that, but on a step, doesn't have to be such a high step. I don't have a small one. On a step like this, the down part is a lot lower, so we're working from an extremity to come up, and that's the purpose of being on a step for this exercise. Okay, stabilize yourself, drop your hip, come up. Cool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not the most strenuous exercise in the world, but I can't understate how important it is for hip stability. And yeah, it's nice to finish off with something like that. So yeah, don't knock it until you've played a whole season without an injury, and then you'll be like, hey, I wonder what that was. Hip stability, let me tell you. But yeah, enough talking, enough time wasting. Let's get going. Set yourself, hips back, glutes down, cool, weight through the heel, head forward, back bent, and here we go. 2, 3, 4. I was cheating a lot last time, so now I'm on my toe over here. 5. Just so my eccentric is all on my active left leg and not my rest in right leg. 8, 9, everything nice and square and straight. 10, 11, 12. Okay. Without any delays, change leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also helps to keep your non-active leg straight the whole time. 7. If you keep it bent, you'll be using it to go up and down. To keep it straight, it means more of the weight is on your active leg, which for me right now is the right. 9, 10, 11, 12. Find your step. And getting ready for hip dips. If it rhymes, it must be true, right? Okay. Be upstanding on your chair. Find your stability. Sink your hips. Bring it up. activating your core to keep your posture right. On 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. I try and sink my hips until I feel a little bit of a activation in my active legs glute. Chase that feeling, bring it up. Cool. Next leg, and then there we go, only one more set to do. Six. Whoo, don't fall. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Again, this might be a bit redundant after you've done most of the set, but if you find yourself wearing socks and you're on a nice polished table or bench over here, please take your socks off between sets, because if you slip and fall and hurt yourself before the season's even started, and then this whole prehab thing is a waste of everyone's time. Here we are trying to prevent injury, but if you're doing one-legged hip dip squat things on a polished table and you slip and fall, well, that's on me, isn't it? So I'm telling you now, please, if your socks are slippery and you're on a table, just take them off. It's okay. You're allowed the rest between sets. I talk enough. But yeah, jokes aside, delay over, let's get into it. Final set, nice straight back leg, working everything through this heel over here, coming up. Your body will follow your head up and your bum down. 3, 4, 5. Hips lead on the way down, head leads on the way up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Change leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry for the silence, but I've said everything so many times now. 8. Just really focus on your form as we come into the final reps of the set. Your legs are tired. 10. And you don't want to get injured doing these prehab exercises. 12. Okay, good stuff. One last set of hip dips to do, then we are done. Well done. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And yeah, best of luck with the season. I'm doing my outro now because I don't want you guys to see how long this video is and they're not even started. So I'm trying to save time where I can. Hips have already started. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So yeah, as we go into this final set, if you've been active, please roll out, please stretch. If you're feeling stiff now or tomorrow, good stuff, good job. Look after yourselves. 3, 4, best of luck for the upcoming season. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what's a video like this without a redundant statement after you've done all the exercises? But if you feel a lot of pressure in your back as you do those hip dips, that's because you're not activating your core. You activate your core to protect your back. So in those exercises, you really should be working on your core and not your back. Activating your core, so yeah, your hips tilt tilt forwards and you're working your legs properly and not your back. We don't want pressure on our backs. This is a very good place to see that at the end of a long set. Yeah, as we're working on those funny niggly exercises, just to make sure that what we're doing is actually correct. Notice then when you're tired what muscles are being activated, and work then actively on activating the right ones. Good thing I've done my outro, but yeah, thanks again. Good luck for the rest.